Hey guys, Deslander Magic here, and you've probably heard about the crazy news. Wizards just banned 5 different cards. Oh my gosh, 3 in Standard, 2 in Modern. Now, if you recall, they made a huge mistake last time around, which is evident by what they did this time. In the last ban cycle, they chose to ban nothing. I think they banned, like, that stupid Drake thing from Pauper, but who cares? That was kind of a gimme ban. Everybody wanted that thing gone. It was unfair. But with the stale, failing, popularity going down the toilet state of Modern, they decided to not do anything to fix it. I mean, that was just stupid. So finally they woke up and tried to fix it this time. So that's good news. Overall, I agree with most of this list. I think I'm at 3.5 out of 5 for agreeing with their ban decisions. So let's start with Standard. Emrakul. Everybody was casting her for free. Now, she's perfectly fair with Flying, Trample, Protection from Instants, and 13/13. She's almost impossible to kill in any way because, all the good death touchers are on the ground, all the good removal is instant, etc. And Flying Trample, I mean, you ain't going to block that. But, I mean, she would, even in Delirium, cost about 9 mana. So you still had to generate like 9 mana to get her out. And so if you manage to come up with 9 mana, you deserve to win the game. I mean, that's just how Magic works. If you cast like a 7 to 9 cost spell, it's probably going to win the game. I mean, that's just a given. Unfortunately, one of the most broken things in all of Magic is free casting, bringing something onto the battlefield for free or casting it for free. So with Emrakul, you would drop it onto the battlefield, usually with Aetherworks Marvel. You just look at the top couple cards and, oh look, Emrakul, slap her down. I would just drop in a Stasis Snare. I had no problem defeating it, but that's because I almost always run control and removal. So do I think it was unfair to bring her out on turn 4 because she wasn't even designed to do that? Absolutely. So I agree with them completely on that. What I disagree with is they should have banned Aetherworks Marvel instead. Because anybody who's running Emrakul, what are they going to do? They're going to drop in Ulamog. 10/10 Indestructible, eats your deck 20 cards at a time, probably swings twice and you're dead either one way or the other. Good luck stopping either of them. He, if anything, is even more difficult to remove than Emrakul, if not dead equal. So that's a problem. So people who run the Emrakul Aetherworks Marvel deck that just free casts her, they're just going to swap for Ulamog. I mean, why not? So they didn't really solve the problem. They're trying to get rid of, bringing something gigantic out on the battlefield way too early that's too hard to remove. And then they didn't do that. There's still other options. I mean, then they banned Ulamog. Okay, now Kozilek. Okay, so they banned Kozilek. You could bring out Breaker of Armies. Okay, now ban him. Desolation Twin. Oh, now you got to ban him. No, just ban the stupid card that lets you free cast stuff, obviously. So Aetherworks Marvel should have been gotten rid of. Absolutely. So I support them banning Emrakul because it gets rid of the deck, but I don't think they went about it correctly. So I'm giving that one a 0.5 on my agreement. Number 2, Smuggler's Copter. This one I disagree with. I think they shouldn't have printed the card, obviously, but I don't think that they should have banned it. See, when they usually ban something historically, it's because that deck that it goes in is too powerful. Well, Smuggler's Copter is in everything, and I mean everything. So that returns everybody to a level playing field. If everybody gets to draw 2 cards per turn, great, whatever. So, I'm not going to drop $80 to put it in a deck that it doesn't even fit in, that doesn't even usually use crewing. I mean, that's just stupid. So the fact that it's gone, I like it, but I think it was a poor management and business and player-based solution or decision. So it was, 18 to 20 a card or something like that? I mean, I haven't even been following it. Obviously, I didn't buy any. I sold all my copies. So anybody running a net deck probably is running Smuggler's Copter, and now they just lost about $80. So they pissed off the maximum amount of people with like the 3rd or 4th most expensive card in Standard right now. If not actually the 2nd. I think only Liliana beats him. I think Chandra's below his price now. So they really pissed off some people. The good part is, though, nobody needs this card. It's not like, oh, I need to have 5 vehicles on the field. No, you just wanted the extra card. I mean, so it kind of goes both ways where, oh, it's a level playing field. Well, now nobody gets, bonus draws. So everybody's getting their deck weakened at the same time. So I think what it really came down to was Smuggler's Copter was making certain deck types too consistent, too powerful, especially the Emrakul deck, honestly. So there's a second shot at it. If you didn't pull your Aetherwork Marvel, okay, now you're drawing cards at double the speed of your opponent. Of course, your opponent's probably playing Smuggler's Copter too. But then a lot of people were mulliganing until they get their Smuggler's Copter. It was like that important. So it's just detrimental in general. So yeah, get rid of it. But they really pissed off some people. And if they left it in, A lot of decks would work a little bit too well, unfortunately, and I think that's why they got rid of it, but it wouldn't have been the end of the world. It wouldn't have been like leaving Emrakul in. So I would say I lean towards disagreeing with them on that one. I hate the card. The card was a mistake. It's too powerful. It does too much. It's too good. It's too much damage in the air. It was a disastrous decision to even print it in the first place. But now that it's out, it's out. You know, it's just like Lightning Bolt. Yes, it was a gigantic mistake. Yes, it absolutely should have been banned from Modern from the get-go. But now that it's in Modern, no way in hell should they ban it. That would be too detrimental to too many decks. Too many people are using it. And it's like a $3 card or something. So it's not like they'd be losing money. It's just everybody would lose a huge portion of their deck, have to start changing colors and stuff. It would have too much of a detrimental effect because it's too dug in. So let's move on to the third card, Reflector Mage. Now let me just start by saying, if anybody's pissed about this, too bad. I mean, oh yeah, we're all shedding a tear for you. The deck that is in is one of the most dickish decks. If you play it, we already hate you, okay? So don't go complaining to us about losing your poor little Reflector Mage. We don't want to hear it, okay? That card was broken. Everybody hated it. And on top of that, you lost, what, $1.25 or something? I don't even know what they're... I think you can get 4 for $3.50 or something on eBay. Like, those cards are worthless, basically. I mean, initially, they were maybe $2 a piece. I think that's what they spiked to, but not now. So, oh no, you're losing $4. Like, get the hell over it, okay? Now, to a lesser extent than Emrakul, they made a little mistake in which card they targeted. Panharmonicon would be the card you're looking for the Reflector Mage deck. The only difference is, with Panharmonicon, if you don't get it out, but you do have to cast your Reflector Mage, it's still massively powerful. It is perfectly fine on its own. And then with Panharmonicon, when you get to bounce 2 different creatures back to hand, that's insane. I mean, that's instant kill for tokens. And if they bounce 2 of your biggest creatures back to hand, and then you can't cast them next turn, the very next swing of theirs is almost always lethal or close enough to it that you're dead eventually. So yes, Reflector Mage was a mistake. It's blue-white, which is the same as Spell Queller, and it does the exact same thing as far as unfairness. Spell Queller gets rid of something that your opponent is doing, like they're trying to summon a 5/5 creature. Okay, now you just got rid of their 5/5 creature and -1 to their creature count, and then +1 to your creature count, and it's flying, and it had reasonable attack power. Now, Spell Queller was a 0/3, nobody would be complaining about it. Oh, you've got an air blocker. Who cares? But adding, aggressive attack power to a blue-white control deck in the air while also countering a spell, you've got to be kidding me. So you look at Reflector Mage, it's a 2/3 for 3, so it's not, the premier attack power, but it's something. And when it enters battlefield, you remove one of theirs. So it's kind of like a spell and a creature. You could reasonably be summoning a 2/3 into the game just to use for nothing but combat. So now you're +1ing your creature count while -1ing their creature count for a bare minimum of 2 total turns. And then you have to waste your mana bringing it back in, so it's almost like they killed the creature. The most equivalent thing I could think of is they destroyed target creature and then let you draw a card, and then it just coincidentally happened to be the same card. That's more close to how it really works. Now, if Reflector Mage exiled the card and then dropped it back onto the field for free and you didn't have to cast it again, that would be a whole different story. So the card, I think, just in general was too powerful. It's an uncommon, so nobody's losing any money on it, and it's in one of the most obnoxious to play against decks. So 3 strikes, you're out, get rid of it. I support it 100%. Absolutely get rid of that piece of garbage. By the way, I personally own over 100 copies of Reflector Mage, and I'm still saying that. Alright, so that's the 3 bannings in Standard. Now, they did give their own reasoning why each card was banned. I haven't read a single word of it, except for a couple little excerpts I saw on Twitter. So let's see how in line it is with what I thought. So Emrakul, created to be scarily powerful. Emrakul the Promised End delivered on that promise too well. Emrakul faced too little resistance and ended games too easily. She was the world-ending, all-powerful monster she was in the story, which was too much for Standard. Wow, what a load of crap. What they meant to say was, oops, people can cast it for free instead of the 9 to 13 that we intended. Our bad, maybe we should stop letting people drop crap onto the battlefield for free. Of course, if they admitted that, they would admit that the entire design of Aether Revolt is completely wrong, because all that damn set does is drop crap out for free. So, oops, I guess they're not going to be admitting that anytime soon. Oh, it, quote, ended games too easily? Maybe that's because she was summoned on turn 4, Wizards. Might have something to do with that. So in other words, they didn't want to admit that what they should have banned was Aetherworks Marvel. And so they just put in a bunch of fluff and made it sound cool by involving the lore. I mean, what a load of garbage. All right, Smuggler's Copter. Let's see. Simply put, Smuggler's Copter is too efficient and shows up in too many decks. Well, they're not wrong. Diminishing the format's diversity, that is absolutely not true. It was literally in every deck, every color, every type. So actually, it did nothing to limit the diversity. You could drop it into anything. It was colorless. So then they said, we want Planeswalkers, sorcery speed removal, and a variety of vehicles to be viable options. So in other words, slightly slower decks. Yeah, I get that. You know, they're letting people get off too consistent of combos by drawing 2 cards at a time. So yeah. So they thought that removing Smuggler's Copter will allow those to flourish again. Of the top archetypes in Standard, very few didn't play 4 copies of Smuggler's Copter, stifling many creative, fun options. That is absolutely true. Decks that would be kind of gimmicky combos turned into consistent combos, which pushed out other people's deck ideas, which were quite good, you know, but not good enough. So in other words, Tier 1 is too powerful, we need to water it down. Simple as that. I've been saying that about every format in all of Magic since I started my channel. Finally, the company that makes Magic is actually catching on. Where were they when Esper Dragons and whatever the hell the other deck was in cons were around? Those were the only 2 decks that stood a chance in hell. Anyway, they said Smuggler's Copter was a result of a new card type pushed too far, and as such is now banned. No, it absolutely had nothing to do with crewing or the fact that it was a vehicle. That was not what was broken. It was the triggered ability that was broken. So they're completely wrong on that point. Okay, Reflector Mage. This one should be interesting. There's no way I'm wrong about this. Blue-white control is too powerful. That's what I'm saying. Okay, let's see what they say. Our data showed that white-blue... let me stop right there. It's not their data. They just went to mtggoldfish.com. Okay, they don't collect their own damn data. Anyway, our data, and I use that term loosely, showed that white-blue flash deck was too powerful against the field, and Reflector Mage has been on players' list of the most disliked cards since the days of Collected Company. You think? Which, by the way, Collected Company should have been banned from Standard. In fact, it should still be banned from Modern. But they refuse to admit their mistakes, so luckily they're moving in a good direction with these bans. They said other cards were discussed to check white-blue flash. Spell Queller. They didn't say that, but I'm reading between the lines. It's Spell Queller. Anyway, Reflector Mage came up time and time again as both frustrating and a targeted way to diminish the white-blue flash deck. Yeah, it was down to that in Queller. Okay, let me just assure you of that. I think between the 2, they did make the correct choice, too. Because at least when you kill Queller, you get your spell back. Unfortunately, the last time I did that, it was a board wipe that unleashed my first board wipe. So I did 2 board wipes in a row. Like, they had spell quellered my first board wipe, so the next turn I board wiped again and got my board wipe back and board wiped a second time for no reason. Not always 100% useful, but, you know, whatever. With Reflector Mage, you had to pay for the entire cost of the creature again, so yes, get rid of Reflector Mage. I completely agree. Their reasoning was 100% sound. I don't think they even really left anything out. Oh, well, except for a reference to Panharmonicon. Whoops. But, you know, God forbid they admit that they made 2 mistakes, or 3 or 4 or 10 or 15. Siege Rhino, dude. Siege Rhino. So those are the bannings in Standard. Like I said, I 1.5 agree with it. I might have leaked what I think about the Modern ones, too, from the next video. Now, there's one thing I have to mention. Okay, Emrakul turn 4... Theoretically, you could stop it. It's extremely unlikely, but in theory, you could stop Emrakul. What you can't stop is Infinite Cats, and that's turn 4. The Saheeli Rai Felidar combo, where you can just bounce a Planeswalker and then drop it back in to use its negative ability again, then bounce it, then do it again, then do it again, do it again, do it again in an infinite combo. That's Modern level stupid. I mean, it is literally Splinter Twin. It is the same freaking deck, except probably a little bit more consistent because you got cards like a Contingency Plan, and nobody has, you know, Modern level control cards in their deck. Although, honestly, with Aether Revolt, I mean, you got some 1-cost kills, but still, no Path to Exile. Oh, also, no Lightning Bolt. So that combo is going to dominate. And whenever a 4-4 combo, because you can't have more than 4, which, let's be honest, people are going to bring 6 copies in a deck and hope they don't get caught. It's happened before. If you've got those types of players at your LGS, that is what's going to happen. Let me just warn you. So get ready for a 6 Saheeli Rai, 6 Felidar, whatever the hell it's called. And And people are, or they're just going to mulligan. Oh, I mulled to 3. Now I can't win the game. Forfeit. Let's move to game 2. And then, oh, look, I got the combo. Yay. Let's not play Magic unless I'm winning. The funny thing is everybody's got their damn undies in a bundle over a planeswalker and a stupid little goat cat looking thing. There are worse turn 4 combos and worse turn 4 game ending cards in Aether Revolt. Why is everybody focusing on just one? It's like I've been saying, there's like 5 different decks other than Saheeli Rai and the stupid cat that are just as detrimental. There are ways to very easily get 8 clues on the field, enchant 1, pass, win. Well, during your next turn. That's a 4-cost enchantment, and it wins the game. Quite simple. Any deck that goes in, whether it's servos or clues, or even like certain other types of tokens like allies, it just wins. It just utterly wins. And it's blue. It's in the highest control color. So they can protect it and they can, stall out the game until they get it. So that's going to be even more powerful. So that whole get out 8 copies of something with the same name and win, that card is broken by itself. Oh, especially since it combos with, what other card? Oh, wait, it's not a card. It's a permanent. Just a permanent. So it's not Saheeli plus Goat Cat. It's the card, period. The card by itself. There's also a turn 4 infinite counters combo. Much more likely to happen on turn 5, though. There's also another infinite tokens one. So, yeah. There's actually more than one. There's about 10 different, if you count the different cards that generate energy, at least 10 different ways to generate infinite energy. Fortunately, you can't do too much with that. You can bring out, 1,000 copies of a 6/6 token. That would be bad. But then that's like a 4th card, although I think that card could be involved in the combo. I didn't look at it too close. So you got 2 different ways to do infinite tokens, infinite counters, just get out 8 of something and win, and then you've also got infinite energy. And they all fire on turn 4 or 5. And yet people are just concerned about Saheeli Rai's combo. Well, at least the community as a whole is 1/5 of the way caught up to the way that I see Aether Revolt and is starting to complain at about 1/5 the level that I am. Just wait for 1 week after launch. This is game-ruining bad set design. I mean, it's not just, there's going to be some kind of powerful stuff. Everybody's going to win on turn 4, so everybody else is going to play control and it'll even out. No, that is not at all how things are going to go. But the good news, the silver lining, because this is a hugely positive announcement from Wizards, is that they're actually willing to sometimes do something about it. They didn't ban 1 card, they didn't ban 2 cards, they banned 3 cards from Standard because the state of it is miserable. And that's not my opinion, as I keep saying. They took a poll on Twitter, got a couple hundred responses, and the average rating out of 10 was about 2.5. About 1/3 of the respondents were like pro-level players. So pros, amateurs, and random people from Twitter all said they hate the state of Standard, so they banned 3 things. So since Aether Revolt is a complete catastrophe, and there's all these unfair combos, unfair cards, everything's OP as balls, they might emergency ban 4 or 5 or 6 cards. And let's be honest, that's what it will take, okay? They're going to have to ban something. You can't have Saheeli Rai and goats invading your game on turn 4. Obviously, the reason that they didn't ban that combo yet is because it's too new. They didn't know about it. They probably still don't know about it. They obviously made the decision to ban those cards from Standard weeks ago, and so they couldn't just add that 1 card after 1 meeting and have people just vote on it. So it was just too late to ban Saheeli or the other card. I think they want to see what happens and see if it's as detrimental too, even if they did know about it. So the likelihood of one of the 2 cards in that combo being banned through the roof, but they'll have to take 5 other cards with it because, like I said, there's just as unfair of combos. So it's still looking grim as hell for the state of Standard post-release of Aether Revolt, but at least Wizards is willing to maybe do something about it. So I am thrilled to death. I might actually be able to play Standard once they fix it. I still think Amonkhet is going to sell like crap because you cannot match the power of Kaladesh and Aether Revolt no matter what you ban. So, oops. That's the little sinkhole that is power creep. So hopefully you guys agree with these bans. I somewhat do. I at least think that their reasoning is sound behind it, even if I don't agree with the method. Or I should say their exact choice. Or I should say their exact choices of what to ban. But it did work. They did shut down these decks. The odd part is they didn't shut down Delirium at all. So they took the top 3 decks and got rid of like 2 of them. I mean, Smuggler's Copter kind of fed Delirium, so they kind of did hit the whole tier 1 across the board, but it would have been nice to see them nuke one more card from Delirium, but that would have been maybe a little overkill, so I can understand that. So if you disagree, well, me and Wizards both think you're wrong, so guess what? You're wrong. Oh, and you know I gotta mention it. Enjoy losing your money, you stupid net decking sheep. Maybe you should have thought for yourself and not followed everybody else, then you wouldn't be losing, $20 cards left and right. Rogue decking for life. I'll see you guys next video.